Hey, what's up? It's Jeff Staple. The team and I are currently gearing up for season 7 of The Business of Hype. New content, new guests, new gems, and just making sure that the new season comes with that new car smell. So while we are doing this, I thought it'd be cool to share an episode from another podcast. Recently, I was interviewed on a podcast by a previous guest on my podcast. Now, in over 70 episodes of this show, that has only happened one time, and that person is none other than Ben Baller. I interviewed Ben Baller back on episode 15 of the show, and it's one of the most popular shows that we've ever done. If you didn't catch it, I highly recommend that you give it a listen. Then, just about a month ago, I hopped behind the mic on Ben's podcast, the Ben Baller Podcast. So since the free world seems to think that we're twins anyway, I thought that we would do an episode swap this week. So we are going to play my episode of the Ben Baller Podcast here this week. And if you want to hear the episode of Business of Hype where I interviewed Ben, conveniently, we have put that on the Ben Baller Podcast, so you can head over to his podcast and give that a listen as well. That will help you kill over 3 hours of time waiting while you prepare your eggnog or wrap your Christmas presents. But for real, it's been an amazing year, and I want to thank all of y'all for tuning in, listening, sharing, rating, commenting, all the ings, and coming up to me in public and telling me how much you love the show. I truly hope that you and yours has the most amazing holiday and New Year's. We will see you in 2020 with all new content, all new stuff. It's going to be great, so definitely tune in. Alrighty, Ben, take it away.
So, yo, man, we are back. Another episode of Behind the Baller. I have a crazy, I don't even know how to describe this man besides being he is an entrepreneur. This is a business podcast, but streetwear pioneer. He's Asian. People think that we're twins. I don't know, man. Listen, I got my man Jeff Staple on the show. What's up, Jeff?
What up, twin?
You know, I know I could Google it, but I just didn't know. What is your last name?
Ng. NG. So I'm Chinese. Yeah.
Oh, shit. My business partner's name is NG.
Oh, really?
My full business partner, who I own VVS with, my cannabis company, his last name is NG.
Yeah.
That's funny, man. I know you're Chinese. I just, and that's why I tell people, listen, you know what's fucking crazy? In 2019, I get it when it was 1978 when I was in kindergarten and shit, but in 2019, people are like, oh, yeah, man, well, you guys are Chinese. Like,
yeah, no, we're just all Chinese, yeah.
I mean, it's even more ridiculous than like, at least like Dominicans or Puerto Ricans or Cubans, you guys all speak Spanish. Like, bro, we don't, like, it's not even the same dialect or even, you know what I'm saying? Like,
some of us actually hate each other.
That's true. That's true.
Yo, thanks for having me on the show, man.
Yeah, for sure.
This is the first time that I've interviewed somebody on my podcast, and now I'm on their podcast.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
and
awesome.
I like that I did you in LA and you're doing me in New York. So
I know, how random, right?
Home court advantage.
Both in hotel rooms.
Both in hotels. This one's a little bit better. Yeah. I did you at the where in Glendale. What hotel was that?
The Hampton Inn or something?
Yeah, the Hampton Suites and Inn. You pulled up in your fucking Ferrari into that parking lot.
Well, you know what's crazy is I have a little bit of loyalty to hotels.
Yeah.
In New York City, the requirement's got to be a 5-star hotel, right? But something about me listening to a lot of Biggie lately, and on the song where I'm Fucking You Tonight on Life After Death, it's a song with R. Kelly. It's like track 7. And he says, Suites at the Parker Meridian. And I'm like, yo, dude, that hotel is legendary.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, it was the Parker Meridian. Now it's the Parker. And I was like, bro, that Central Park view. I remember back in the late 90s, around that time, I remember it was a big deal to try to get an expensive. I was a VP of A&R at the record label. It was a big deal to try to expense a $700 a night thing. Back then, you gotta remember, that's $2,000 a night now. You know what I'm saying? It's different. And of course, I never had a suite that was 1,700 square feet and has a fucking dining room.
This is crazy.
Yeah. And again, look, turn around. You know what I'm saying? Like
this view.
You know, so Columbus Circle, the whole thing. So it is different from the Glendale fucking. But what I'm getting at is it also shows me how far I came, because this is like on my own thing.
You know what else is ironic is you pulled up to the Hampton Inn in a Ferrari. Right. I pull up to the Parker in a city bike. I think
did you really?
Yeah, I rode a city bike up here. Oh, wow, and I saw you on your IG complaining about New York City traffic.
Yeah, no, it's gotten worse.
You just don't know how to navigate, bro.
Listen, I lived here, remember, I don't know if you remember, well, 2 years almost 2 years I lived here, and I mastered the train system. The thing is, it's hard to get on a train with a $200,000 watch on.
It is a little bit hard, yeah.
Yeah. So that's the only thing. I'd be on a bike too, but it's like I'm not trying to pull up the bathing ape and fucking sweating and shit. And fucking yesterday was kind of warm. Day before yesterday was even way hotter.
Right.
So it's like I can't, But I do not know. I understand the train. I know billionaires are on the train, but again, they're in a fucking Brooks Brothers suit.
Yeah,
and they're
low
fucking
key.
little attaché case. No one gives a fuck.
Yeah.
I get stopped everywhere I go here.
Right,
So,
right.
in fact, in LA, I get stopped a lot, but because you have to deal with people here,
You're in the streets.
Like I'm walking down 56, 40, 45th, 47th, 40 fucking second, I'm getting stopped.
Yep.
Are you, what?
Is that Jeff Staple?
No. And I'm like, what the fuck? But they're tripping because I'm like, what are you doing at Chick-fil-A? I'm like, motherfucker, I'm getting a sandwich. What do you think I'm doing? I get hungry too, right?
Right.
But it's funny. So you know what? I had some questions, but now that we brought up the whole thing about China, bro, I gotta ask, man. Like, I didn't even know what the fuck was going on because I used to frequent Hong Kong so much. I love Hong Kong. Kevin Poon and Edison and my boys and this and that. It's like that, liberated, completely just separated shit. And it was beautiful. Like, there was times I didn't have a valid Chinese visa and I didn't want one, right? And I've had one for the last, I don't know, like 8 or 9 years. But, like going to Hong Kong was dope and I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
What do you think about this shit that's going on over there?
It's crazy. I have no idea how this is going to end. Like, it's going to end bad because usually when there's like a revolution or something, like one party just sort of says like, fuck it, I give up. Or, one party relinquishes. Both parties right now are like on some,
they ain't backing down,
we're not
bro.
blinking.
The trip is this to me. I didn't know necessarily everything about it. I knew here and there, and I have friends who live in Hong Kong for 20 years, whatever, I have some customers of mine. There's a Korean kid I know who I never understood. I was like, bro, how the fuck do you have $6 million in cause? And I'm talking about retail, not what the current rate is. So we're talking about maybe in the 10, 12, $20 million of, like, he has 6-foot bronze. He has crazy shit. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Find out later that his family owns Shin Ramen. That every single person on earth, they have it in the fucking delis here, and you know what I mean, everywhere. So I'm thinking, okay, you're fully Korean, you barely speak Cantonese, but you navigate your life in Hong Kong. You are balling out here, and then I have friends who are models there.
Right.
I have like just random people.
Yeah.
And they never have to really worry about shit.
I know.
And then this shit happens, and I'm like, wait a second. They're like, last time something crazy happened in Hong Kong, it was SARS, and everyone left the country. Everyone left this, Hong Kong.
Yeah.
And they thought the world was going to end. They thought it was going to be like 28 days later.
Yes.
And they left for real. One of the crazy parts about that thing is one of my business partners who I have a small business with, he ended up taking out a loan for millions, like multi-millions, at a time where you couldn't take loans because people were tripping. And he took loans at 40% interest because of what was going on.
Yeah.
And he bought skyscrapers, 40 to 80 story skyscrapers in all of Hong Kong City. In Hong Kong, he was buying 80 story high skyscrapers for $3 million.
Wow.
Yeah, one is worth $1 billion now.
Yeah.
So he became a billionaire off that. And the crazy part was he was paying the interest for quite a while. And then when that shit passed, I mean, there's more billionaires in Hong Kong than there is here in New York City now.
Yep.
Which is, New York had the reign supreme for the longest.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on with those regular billionaires. My boy kind of had, it's like, it just was just a ballsy move.
Yeah.
And I asked him, and I said, bro, what are you doing? Your kids, all 3 kids go to school in Hong Kong. He goes, yeah, currently we've been living in Barcelona for the last, few months. And I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, Ben, man, they've taken over the airports and stuff, and you never know what day it might happen. I just don't want to have that feeling of, well, I can't go to the airport today, I can't do this. I really don't know what's going on. I'm like, bro, you own a $70 million house in fucking East TST. Like, what are you going to do? And he's like, right now, I really, thank God I do have the means to not worry about it.
Yeah.
He's like, but I can't have our situation over there, because he said there are literally areas of where you don't know where the fuck things are. I mean, you do know, he says, where people are blocked off areas.
Yeah, they announce
like,
it and stuff.
But you're talking about normal areas that you've walked around are filled with people. And people in China already wear the masks, because it's the bad air.
Yep.
That's just a trend in Korea, China, Japan.
Yeah.
And he's like, man, it's getting bad. You don't know what the fuck is going on. And these are like dudes you would laugh at, but now they're upset. And there's just, and so the city's fucked up. And I'm like, okay, hold on. What's really going on though? So I had to listen to Mike Rappaport's podcast, because he has this political correspondent that goes on there and talks. And then I found out that, you know, they don't want Hong Kong to be this fucking like, you know, like this liberated fucking area. And
Yeah.
What's the agreement? Do you know? It's like 2050 is when it's supposed to be, where it's supposed to be up for
Part of China again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they're like, no, fuck that. We're going to change it. And now it's 2020. And I'm like, how you going to take 30 years off of
A deal.
You know, a deal, right?
Yeah.
And I guess listen, if they ban me for life, it is what it is. They're starting to ban people for everything.
Yeah, it's
I don't know
real.
if you saw, they banned Zed, the DJ, because
Really?
he liked the South Park tweet.
Wow.
And then I remember Rocky, when, did you go to Intersect? I forgot.
No, I didn't go.
Okay, at Intersect, Rocky performed. And ASAP, and he threw the microphone down because the sound was off. They banned him for that. There's a lot of crazy bannings. You know
Yeah,
that, right?
I
They
know,
banned
I
Linkin
know.
Park.
Yeah.
So maybe they banned about this. Listen, tell you the truth, I don't know what side is what, and I don't really. I got no issues with nobody. Do you know? But it would suck.
Yeah.
But how do you feel about, like? I mean, how often do you go back to China or to HK?
Like 5-6 times a year, bro.
Yeah, shit, dude.
I go to China more than HK though.
Right.
I actually like China more.
I'm a little opposite. I had a tough time navigating Beijing. When I had Superism, the men's line, and then became a kids line, ASAP Rocky would be a majority owner. Our factory was in Dongguan.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's like past Guangzhou in an area. And when you really see, like, it's different. You go to Hong Kong 15 times. You go to Shanghai, you go to Beijing. Even in Beijing is where I saw some serious poverty still.
Yep.
And then you go into Dongguan and and you start seeing like, whoa. Like Guangzhou's one thing, and do you ever go to the marketplace where like they have all the crazy, that's one thing. Going to fucking Dongguan, I remember being stuck in traffic, and it was 18 miles maybe.
Yeah.
18 miles in China is equivalent to, you know, maybe 100 miles here, right? I remember we got stuck in bumper to bumper traffic. And I told Michael from Publish, I was like, bro, I don't give a fuck. Find me a helicopter in Guangzhou, and I don't care if it costs $15,000. I'm not even joking you. And he's starting to trip out. He don't realize how bad my anxiety is getting. I'm starting to really lose it. And then my mental health starts to, like, really getting bad. And now I'm getting it fucked up for all the people on the van. And I feel bad. And I'm like, dude, I'm not this guy, but this is crazy. Bro, it took us 3 hours to get to Guangzhou from Dongguan when it should have been maybe a 45-minute drive with the typical traffic. On the way home, I decided to take a different type of transportation that got me to my spot in like 50 minutes. It took the rest of the people to get to our hotel. Are you ready for this one, bro? 10 hours, dude.
You would have straight killed people.
No, bro, they started getting violent. Bro, the driver made a wrong exit.
One wrong turn, yeah.
One exit took 2.5 hours, and they were tripping. Bro, they were Snapchatting, and they were literally dead stopped. One of them walked to finally found a convenience store. It took them an hour to walk and find it. They came back and still were able to walk in the shit. The car had moved maybe 40, 50 feet. Like, this is some crazy shit.
Wow.
So I'm trying to tell people how it gets them. And I remember telling some guy in Beijing, he told me during the Olympics, they had like these luxuries for the people who were super wealthy and the people weren't. And he said traffic would be booked up for days. The army had to get involved to like...
People don't get it. Like, literally, you sit in traffic for days.
Yeah, days. And then I remember I had an appearance at this nightclub in Beijing, and they told me the place was like 2 miles. I was like, 2 miles? Like, motherfucker. Now, mind you, it's like 175% humidity outside. It's like 88 degrees. And I didn't know that cold water and ice cubes are like a beyond luxury.
Yeah.
Like, the motherfucker will give you some Gucci pants before they give you some cold water,
some
right?
ice.
I'm like, what the fuck is going on over here, right? I'm in the Four Seasons, bro. Someone's got to, this is some crazy shit. And I remember walking down and seeing people like an old 80-year-old dude with an 85-year-old woman on the back of the bike, and then a kid in the fucking basket.
No helmets.
And
one's got helmets.
and their shirts are always like wrapped up, you know what I mean, like this. And like, they're passing me in the car service. And I'm like, bro. Anyways, going on. I mean, what happens, bro? If like, I mean, you're not going to go there, right? When like, it's going to get progressively worse, I think. And then there'll be the finale, and then who knows?
I know. And HYPEBEAST is based out of Hong Kong. So I'm always meeting with those guys like Kevin Ma and stuff. And every time, like, meetings are getting canceled because half the people couldn't make it to work that day. You know, it's really, retail is down like 50% in Hong Kong right now.
Oh shit.
Yeah, retail stores are down 50%.
I remember that there's this place there's an Adidas store in Hong Kong, like the main part of Kowloon, and I was like, $600,000 a month in rent. That's what their store. And I was like, I couldn't understand how they could even. They must just lose money and just it is what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
But shout out to HYPEBEAST family. They're all good people, man. Kevin Ma's my guy.
For sure.
I remember first going over there to shoot over there, and I was like, hold on, motherfucker, you motherfuckers is north like a bitch, like you know, it was like out of the way. But so yeah, what are they gonna do then? Do you have any idea? I mean,
they got to grind it out. They got too many people there already, and they're publicly traded now in Hong Kong.
Oh, that's right. So they can't just move.
No. You gotta grind it out.
So I don't know, man. I mean, do you think that China will take over the fucking country? I mean, the area?
Yeah, I think China's gonna win this draw.
Right.
You know,
you heard like 2 years ago, right? There was an issue with Korea. I think there's still a small little issue right now.
Korea versus who?
With China.
Okay.
So, okay, imagine this is a somewhat decent big hotel. I'm trying to think of think of the Hyatt Regency in the Westin in Times Square. Imagine how big those brands are.
Yeah.
Let's say we're in China right now. Okay. There's a hotel called Lotte, Lotte.
Yes.
Lotte is an enormous Korean brand.
Yep.
Some of the biggest drinks you think are Japanese, they're not. They're Korean drinks. You know, Pocari Sweat, you know, these iced teas and stuff and these milk teas. They're owned by Lotte. Lotte owns a shit. They're like beyond Nestle, like Coca-Cola. You know, they have all kinds
they're bigger. Yeah. Yep.
So they own hotels and stuff. A couple years ago during the drama with China, something happened. I don't remember exactly what, but China was like, fuck this. They demolitioned a fucking 30, 40 stores. Yeah, they demolished the hotel. And G-Dragon, all the big K-pop stars, they were no longer allowed to go into China. They weren't allowed in Korean passports inside the country. And I was like, yo, you got to be kidding me. I was like, wait, so how's my boy Jay Park going there? He's a huge K-pop star. He's got an American passport. So it was like weird gray areas here and there, blah, blah. But like at the airport, be like, nah, fuck you. Because Beijing to Korea is 45 minutes, 50-minute flight. You know, it's nothing. So like they were just tripping. So like when I thought about it, I'm like, oh, dude, I don't know how much more they could put up with it.
Yeah, China controls everything, man. They could just shut shit down anytime they want. Like Uber tried to go to China, and they're like, "No, we ain't having it." They have a version of their own Uber called Didi.
No, but listen, hold on. I don't know when, but 3 years ago or 4, the Uber did exist there for a short amount of time.
They did, but you know what happened?
What?
Didi now owns majority share in Uber globally. That's how gangster they are.
Yeah, dude. But you know, I remember taking an Uber in China. I mean, in Hong Kong and stuff and whatever. So, enough of that. But that's just crazy because you know I'm just like it's some current shit. You know what I mean? Especially for listen, I gotta have at least 15% Chinese listeners, bro. That's some ill shit.
Yeah, for sure.
And you see people like my boy was all he talks about is 852 life. You know, Hong Kong, this, and he posted a Chinese flag, and I'm like, bro, you gotta make up your motherfucking mind, dog.
Yeah.
And like, no, bro, you know, this is what it is.
Right.
I don't know. It's unfortunate. It's just crazy because that's. You prefer Shanghai, this whatever, and I prefer HK. That's just been my shit.
But you know what? Can I say something about Asians in general?
Yeah.
There's a part of me, and again, I don't know who's actually right or wrong. We're not living there. We don't know it for sure. But I do think that one silver lining thing out of this is that I think Asians in general need to learn how to speak up.
Right.
And that's like the silver lining where it's like if you are not satisfied with something, Asians are too often like just quiet about it.
And they'll take it, yeah.
And that's why I actually love you so much because you're the one Asian that is like,
oh, hell no.
Not been humble, you know? And it's like, you just speak your mind. And I feel like a lot of times Asians, especially in America, just are like too reserved.
No, they'll take it on the chin.
Yeah.
And I don't give a fuck if you're Puerto Rican, black, German, whatever's reigning supreme in the area or whatever the cool thing is or anything. I don't care if the hotel's all white people and they're prestigious and fucking pretentious or whatever it may be. You know goddamn well I worked hard to get where I'm at. So I'll be like, listen, motherfucker, I need the same treatment or I'm gonna fuck shit up. But it backfires, but you know, it's live or die by it.
I know, it's dope. But we win in subversive ways. Yeah. Like we won't make a loud stink about it, but we'll just own the whole shit like in 2 years. That's how we get back at you.
You know, the funny thing is, even though I got a better math SAT score, because it was just like whatever. Yeah. But like people assume immediately, oh man, hey, how much is fucking 13,000 times 486? I'm like, motherfucker, why would I go get your calculator out? Like, you got the wrong Asian, man. Like, you know. So let's get into it. Why the pigeon?
Oh, you're gonna start there?
Yeah, I need to know.
I mean, you lived in New York, so you know.
Of course.
The pigeon is kind of like the unofficial mascot of the city. And you know, growing up, I was a huge fan of like Polo, of course, and then Echo, Lacoste, and then of course LRG. And each of those great brands had like a mascot. And so when it came time for me to give a mascot to my brand, I was like, let me pick something that like no one is fucking with right now. In fact, people will scratch their heads. Yeah. And it was the pigeon. And I felt
feel
like
such an asshole now asking that, because we really think about it. I just talked about Mike Tyson before we started the show.
There you go.
Motherfucker had a pigeon coop in his house. Like, yeah. I get it. No, you're right.
I got to go to Mike Tyson's pigeon coop with him in Brownsville, Brooklyn.
Oh, wow.
Mike has 1,000 birds.
Yeah, he talks about it all the time.
In Brownsville. He knows the name of every single one. So when they're doing laps, the 1,000 pigeons, he's like, Roger, get in line. He's yelling at the bird's name because he knows how their flight pattern is.
Okay, so you met him before then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Amazing.
Now,
amazing, man.
Let me ask you a question. Were you blown the fuck away of how articulate this man is?
Dude is Bruce Lee level philosopher.
Yes.
Like, he is so... I think actually the boxing helped him become like, philosophical.
Like, and listen, he might be listening to the show and people have this, the stereotypical like, oh man, he's so dumb, blah, blah. When he started breaking down Alexander the Great's life to me, I said, bro, I must be high, because we're smoking and shit right together. I'm like, bro, are you fucking kidding me? The level of brilliance that was being spewed out of that fucking man's fucking fierce, being. Yep. I was so blown away that I didn't know how to even react to it.
Yeah.
That when I walked off and I listened to a couple episodes of him, I was like, holy shit, this motherfucker is really like, he's insanely intelligent.
Let me tell you my Mike Tyson story, okay?
Please.
So we had an hour carved out in the schedule to be on his rooftop. And, he's a busy man.
Just beyond busy.
That hour meeting ended up being 5 hours on his rooftop. I had a camera crew with me to capture, and the camera crew was like, yo, bro, how long we gonna be up here for on his roof? So finally we finish up 5 hours. The camera crew goes down, and this is Brownsville. To get down off a rooftop, you're going down the fire escape, right? So it's like real treacherous. Everyone goes down. It's finally just me and Mike on the roof, and I'm like, yo, peace, Mike. Thank you for the time. It was amazing. I start walking down, and I'm going down the fire escape ladder, and he's alone on his rooftop right now, right?
Yeah. And
he's like just pacing, and he turns to me, he's like, yo, Jeff, Genghis Khan. And I'm like halfway down the ladder. I'm like, excuse me? What? You got Genghis Khan blood in you, right? I was like, shit. What do you mean? He's like, yeah, man, he's the greatest warrior ever, and he's in you. The DNA is in you. And I was like, thanks, Mike. So like, it's just philosophical to like just the shit that goes to his brain.
I won't get into it. People can listen to the fucking Mike Tyson. It is some crazy shit though. He fucked me up. And the level of amount of drugs, he can't even believe he's not dead yet. He told me, and just speaking of pigeons though.
Yes.
Going back. Now I understand. It makes complete sense. I totally got, I brain farted when I thought about Echo, and I was like, no, there was a rhinoceros.
Yeah.
So, what's the most a pair of pigeon dunks have sold for?
It's going for about $18,000 to $20,000 on StockX right now. But I'm actually doing this. I'm doing this thing with this company that you should check out called Otis. Otis is a startup that's just beginning, and basically what they're doing is they're allowing people, like, if you want a cause piece, but you can't buy the whole thing, they're allowing people to buy shares in a cause piece. So you could say I own 20% of a cause piece.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's held in a safe vault museum type thing. Yeah, it's pretty dope.
That's fucking amazing.
So they had me pick my top 5 Nike SB Dunks of all time, and you can buy the bundle, but you could just buy shares of it.
That's a fucking amazing.
Yeah.
At the same time, what a world
we live in.
What a fucking, that's just crazy. Can you imagine? Like, hey man, you ain't got no stable dunks, motherfucker. I have 17% in one, bitch. Like,
I'll show you my portfolio right here on my phone. Here you go. Because it's not about owning the shoes anymore. You know what I mean? So anyway, they were trying to get pigeon dunks from people to get this collection, and they were offering people like 25,000. And they're like, nah, actually, I changed my mind. I want to keep it. Because it's like, to people, it's like a holy grail of the entire culture.
You know the fucked up part about it is I had a pair. And shout out to, is it Dave Ortiz? Dave's Quality Meat?
Yeah, DQM, yep.
I had a pair from him. And then my boy Dom, Brooklyn Projects, he had them too. And the crazy part was, as much of a mess as it was, Dom was like, bro, I got you if you need one. And it was so weird because it was such a fucking hard dunk to get. And he was cool with just, don't worry about it, I got you. And that was a crazy thing because I didn't take advantage of that one. Whatever. Bottom line is, you know, I got rid of all my shit. And this was, what year did it drop?
2005.
Okay, I got rid of my entire collection in 04, right? There was a kid on Nike Talk who was a protege of mine. I had no idea I motivated him to be so whatever, and he died in 2005. His name was Alon, Sir I-N-Y. It was a big deal on Nike Talk. He was murdered. He was a rich Vegas Jewish kid, and I made a methamphibian Air Force One and attributed him. We became the highest selling shoe in eBay history. We beat the eBay Dunk for this methamphibian Air Force One in honor of him. What do you remember what month it was?
February.
Okay, so that was because I said I got off Nike after 2004. I was like, fuck this. But I had a couple pairs. I was like, I think I had a pair of Supreme Dunks. I had those Sakura Unos, the Cherry Blossom Air Force Ones. These there was like 3 or 4 Grails. 85 fucking Jordan 1s. That was one of them.
Yeah.
I forgot what year I just said, yo, you know what, man? Even the 85's got to go. Everything's got fucked up. You know, from 05 to 11, I forgot. I went a good 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe 8 years maybe, where I just said, man, fuck. Whatever the Galaxies and Yeezy 2s came out, Air Yeezy, is when I finally said, all right, man, it's been enough, man. I need to this is so stupid, right? But it was crazy because I tried them on. I walked around the house in them. But for the most part, they were either 9.99999 out of 10 condition. They were dead. I don't know if they're dead stock, but I remember I was going to sell them to Domaney.
Yeah, Domaney Flight Club.
Yeah, and I mean, I know Domaney. He was actually an honorary member of Air Max, and he was he had vintage kicks, and he was beefing with Ricky's from Ricky NYC, blah blah, whatever. I forgot what his name was. It's not Ricky. Anyways, going on this OG New York sneaker shit back in the day when fucking people were going to Philly here and there. You could actually find some shit when people actually cared.
Yeah,
like vintage shoes now don't go for shit. Like kind of, find a pair of OG Vandals, but who cares?
Yeah,
it meant something back then.
How many shoes do you have now? Did you build it back up?
So about a year ago, I got down to 28 pairs. It was it was so insane.
That's incredible that you got down to 28.
Unbelievable, because I had 1,800 pairs at one point, right? And I was like, yo, I got to 28. I think right now I'm probably like right around between 36 and 40 pairs.
That's amazing.
Yeah, still crazy.
Like crazy low.
Yeah, crazy low.
For you.
Insane low. But what I do is I'll rock them, like 7, 8 times, and that shit just got to go.
See, people who are listening to the show who are not maybe sneakerheads have to understand when we say you have 38 pairs and that's amazing, or 48 pairs, like people in our culture have thousands, if not tens of thousands. So if I came to you and I said, I have 3 pairs of shoes in my collection, people would not believe you. Oh,
no, dude, people didn't even believe 10 because you don't understand. Like, for me to have 500 in 2002, people thought, I was crazy. The only person that was even close to me was maybe Clark Kent. And then AM got to 500, and then Homicide got to like around 500, and then I got to 1,000. Then I got to like, it started getting, people don't realize, I had a 4-bedroom apartment, which is already rare. You don't have 4-bedroom apartments, 3 is rare. And I had 2 bedrooms were dedicated just stock rooms.
Right.
And I was like,
shameless plug. If you listen to our podcast on HYPEBEAST Radio, you break down the whole story of how you went up and down the whole entire Pacific coastline, scooping up SBs, fucking up your girl's credit card rating. Yeah. It's an incredible story.
This is some fucking crazy shit. Yeah, you definitely got to listen to HYPEBEAST, the business of hype. Business of hype.
Yep.
How did you get an SB account without being a skate shop?
Yeah, we were like the only one. I think it's because of what we did with the Pigeon, and Reed Space really was a one-of-a-kind store. Really, the only other store in the world that was like Reed Space was Colette in Paris, where it was just a multicultural, multi-art, streetwear, kicks, luggage, CDs, mixtapes, everything in one store. Nowadays, that's like commonplace, but back then when I opened in 01, I opened 3 months after 9/11 in downtown New York City. That's not a smart business move, You ask any businessman, I'm going to open a store in downtown New York City 3 months after 9/11. What do you think?
When did God, what's my guy's name? Fuck, I can't think. Next door with the fucking Evuzus. What's his name?
Prohibit.
Yeah, what was his name again?
Shin.
No, not Shin. The other dude.
Chance. Chase. Chase Infinite.
No. Chase worked there.
Yeah.
Chase is my boy for fucking 20 years.
So you got Chase, Shin.
That's what the owner, dude, who fucking ran
Shin is the owner, no?
No, bro, there was a dude.
A Japanese dude?
No, white boy. What's his name, man? Fuck.
There's a white boy there?
Yes, dude, because they had the Evisu denim, and it was fucking, what's his name? Oh, my God, it's driving me crazy. Jewish cat, dude.
Really?
Yeah, man. Fuck. Anyways, fuck it. Listen, Read Space. Why the name Read Space?
So this is kind of a romantic story, but my high school art teacher, his name is Michael Reed. And he meant so much to me because he was really the first cat that was like, you don't have to be like a lawyer or an accountant, you know that? You don't have to actually listen to your parents. You could actually like do this art shit for a living. And I was like, what? Get the fuck out of here. So he really had a huge impact on my life. And then senior year in high school, he died in the middle of the semester. You know how he died? Decapitated on a motorcycle.
What the fuck?
Yeah, on the New Jersey Turnpike.
Jesus Christ.
And so like when the most important figure in your childhood life, your best teacher, you come into school the next day, you're like, oh, I'm gonna see Mr. Reed and like do my art shit. Oh no, you know, he's not here. And then you start digging and then you find out that like he was probably intoxicated on his Harley, New Jersey Turnpike, a truck hit him. Man. It was after that, it was just a wrap for me. I was like, you know, I just want to dedicate my life to him. And actually, little known fact, but after that, so you know when you buy a laptop, I don't know if you do this, but you could change the name of your hard drive to whatever you want. It doesn't have to be Macintosh hard drive. That's what it comes default as.
Right.
But I always change the name of my hard drive. And ever since he died, I changed every hard drive that I've ever owned to Mr. Reed.
Oh, wow.
So like it's kind of like I put all my art files in his soul. And then when I opened the store, I was like, I'm going to dedicate it to him.
Damn.
Yeah.
The first time I heard of Read Space, I remember seeing it during the Prohibit days. Fuck, it's driving me motherfucking nuts. Because, dude, Methamphibian used to like literally go to Prohibit. His first show was at Prohibit. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So I remember your store was there, but there's like no sign that says Read Space. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like it was. So I know seeing your store, never paid attention, never thought about whatever. But I remember seeing it because Methamphibian's first show, anyways, going on, it wasn't until we skipped to 2007, 2008 that my best friend in my life, Jonas, he did his LRG thing there. And I was like, okay, hold on, wait a second.
Yes.
Read Space, what the fuck? One thing I will say that I regret, and I don't know why I should just smack myself in the fucking mouth right now. I went to go visit Chase one day, and two things that happened that day. Me and my wife were at the MoMA, we're running around, it was like 2011, so this is 8 years ago. Just walking around the city, having a good time. Actually, we're staying here in Central Park as well. I was staying at some small spot. It wasn't a 5-star, it was a 4-star. It was like a place called the Bentley Hotel.
Okay.
It's right over here.
It's the tough times era.
No, it was
4-star
actually,
hotel.
the funny thing is, you want something crazy is, the recession really fucked me really bad. I never felt things like it. Hawaii Mike, when he had LTD magazine, he had an issue where he said, never in history has anyone seen nothing like this. Our parents haven't seen a time like this. This is some tough time shit. And I remember I was like, yo, bro, I'm in a luxury business. No one fucking needs to shit. They say, oh, the 1% ain't affected. They were affected. This shit was crazy.
Yeah.
My wife came into my life right at the end of that. And it was like, you know, so I was like really being, not necessarily frugal. I was being like, all right, dog, let me pick and choose what luxuries I'm gonna fuck with.
Right.
So, you know, New York is different from, I mean, you could be in Beverly Hills, but even Beverly Hills prices might not compete to a Midtown Manhattan, like nice hotel. So we're downtown. I walk into Read Space, and I already have an insane Bearbrick collection already as it is, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to Eddie Cruz. And you guys had the fucking 4 Beatles, Kubricks.
1000%. Right?
1000% for retail, or maybe no bullshit. I think the guy who was working in the shop was like, oh, it's Ben Baller, you know, like, I mean, we can give you some kind of a deal on this or whatever. And I was thinking like, okay, shipping's gonna be a bitch, blah, blah. But that's what it is. In China, it's 10 times worse, or Japan to ship it to me. So this ain't that bad. And it was such an insane deal that it was like 1,700 shipped or 18 for the whole set. They gotta be over 10 grand now, right? Easily. And that's not that it's a crazy comp, like a cause crazy deal where I bought a painting for, but it's still like, you know, and now the same day, there were these Cause Visvum slip-ons for 160 that got to be at least 3 or 4 grand. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, yo, 2 things. And Chase is like, why don't you buy these? This ain't shit for you. And I was just being like weird.
Frugal. You were being like,
I was being on the weird shit, right? Bro, now, I might see a latte I really want to be like, $100? That's cool. Fuck it, let's do it. You know, like, and I could be on some frugal shit and still spend $100 on.
So you passed up on both of those things?
Passed up on both those things. I was inside your store, boom. But the reason why I even went to Read Space was because Jonas had just passed that year, and it fucked me up that I was like, you know, let me come in here and just, Jonas had just passed like 2 months prior to that.
I know.
And it was like, it was summer 2011. He had died on Memorial Weekend in 2011.
Yeah, I mean, for Jonas to choose Reed Space to do his event at, like, it was amazing.
It was a big deal, bro. You have to understand, this dude was such a revolutionary.
Yeah.
So I asked him, I said, yo, why the fuck? And the funny thing was, Jonas was in negotiating a deal to get an apartment here. He's like, fuck this. I need to buy coastal. Even though he lived in Orange County, which I fucking hate Orange County.
Yeah.
I've never liked it. He's always loved Orange County. And he's kind of from there, but he's not technically from Long Beach, but it's like, you know, he's adopted. He's one of like 8. He would frequent Paris. He was on Balenciaga vibe, like fucking 06, 05, way so fucking far before anybody else. You know, he was just super dope. And then like, I was like, Reed Space.
Right.
And he's like, well, it's like right next to Prohibit. It's right area. I was like, bro, I don't know if you know this, man. That area wasn't that great back in the day. Like, you fuck around and get, like, if you look at where A-Life Rivington Club, is that still around or no?
Yeah, it is.
Going to LES, bro, you didn't go to LES in the 90s, bro. You get straight robbed.
And you got to understand, LRG at that point, he could have done it at like Bergdorf.
Oh, for sure
He could have done it anywhere he wanted.
Bro, we did a Cavassier collaboration at the same time. That's where it was.
That was what Cavassier, yeah.
We did a Cavassier collaboration. You got to remember, $5,000 pair of jeans. I did real diamond buttons, real gold, the rivets. All that shit was, I made all those in gold and diamonds. Bro, we could have did it, but you know, you're right, anywhere.
Yeah.
So when I heard that, I was like, hold on, dog. And he's like, come on, man, Jeff, stable this. I was like, I don't know, dude. I know the pigeon. And I'm like, wait a second, he's Asian? He's like, bro, man, he was breaking down all the reasons why to me. And I was like, all right, dog. Man. And he was really on some future. He was. Jonas was the first guy to buy a $25,000 vest, like in 07. And I'm like, hey, bro, I don't know, man. You're tripping. You know, we went to Mr. Chow's on his birthday, and he came there with no shirt on. Of any place you could do it as, Mr. Chow's. No shirt on, and he had a Louis Mink scarf on. Like, you know, he was just a fly dude. And like, you know.
But he was hot. Like, you know, he recognized what I did. He was buying these $25,000 suits. Like, he just was so wide open. He was probably like the most balanced, wide open, sort of like, you know, exposing everything together. That's why LRG was like the shit that it was.
Nah, for sure. Did you go to college?
I am a double dropout. So I went to NYU, dropped out, went to Parsons School of Design, dropped out. So I went to 4 years of school and I have no degree to show for it.
You're a fucking dumbass.
Yeah, I'm the dumbest. That's the dumbest way you could do it, kids. just decide to not go and save the $180,000.
Yeah, did you have any student loans or did you?
Yeah, no, student loans, everything.
Fuck me. You paid them off, right?
I paid them off.
Thank God, bro.
Yeah.
I just paid off my wife's student loans like last year, and I was like being fucking cheap about it. I was just like, yo, man, this was fucking debt you incurred before I was even involved in your life. You know what I mean?
I'm responsible for this shit now.
She went to fashion school. She graduated from FITM, and I was like, fuck, man. But it was funny.
Yeah, I remember one of my first design jobs after I quit school was this Japanese company, you know, asked me to like create a brand and a logo and like a brand name for them. And they're like, oh, you know, how much do you charge? I literally looked at my college debt and it was $86,000 and change. I literally was like $86,221. And they're like, okay, I took the whole check and just paid off the debt in one shot.
Fucking amazing. You know what though? You know the crazy thing is? Actually, I don't know if I should share this secret. I shouldn't even. But like, you know, if I'm in the hole something, right? Let's say if I'm like, fuck, man, I'm so mad about that. I just fucking lost $4,000 on something stupid. Damn, I can't believe that shit was $11,000. You know what I do? I'll actually tack that onto a bill.
Just 11,000, just some dumb shit.
No, on top of whatever.
Yeah.
And like, nah, the bill ain't 86, bro. The bill is exactly 102,000. I'm like, the fuck would you get that number from? Because I mean, at this point, I could charge whatever. Because I mean, either you fuck with me or you don't. And if you don't, I'm not really mad about it because I have other revenues of business. But I'm being honest.
I know.
Because you have to spend a certain amount.
I do the same thing, bro.
What year did you make your first million?
Well, there's the business and then there's me, and it's sort of hard to separate, but. Staple was $1 million company like fucking 10 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, well, I mean.
So it's like.
So a couple years after you, is that what?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's hard to separate because.
No, I get it.
What is, like, who's going to buy Staple without Jeff Staple? And vice versa, you know what I mean? So it all comes together.
That's when I actually realized that I couldn't call my company Icy Fresh anymore. I needed to, well, first of all, we got sued by the company Icy. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yo, what the fuck? And the crazy part was, that's when I started realizing, I always knew that rich people go in court and they sue each other and that's how they fuck each other and they go to court, get tied up in legal shit and litigation and blah, blah, and contracts. And then I realized, holy shit, because we popped up in the first 20 searches for Icy, They want to be in the whole first 20.
They want to own the whole shit.
Yeah. We popped up like number 5.
Right.
And the thing was, one of my slogans for the longest time is many are cold, but few are frozen.
Yep.
That's confusing to people, right? They're like, oh, is this a drink? Boom. And then it was like, I was like, iced out this. And they're like, no, we're icy. The most fucking biggest fucking slushy, whatever, you know, they're as big as a Slurpee, whatever you be, icy. And I'm like, man, these motherfuckers better get out of here. They owned a jewelry trademark because they have pins and something else. And I was like, that's not jewelry. There was very specific things about this. And I was
category
like,
though, yeah.
They sent the cease and desist, changed the name, blah, blah. And I was like, I met with this dude, Lowell, and he was Jonas's trademark attorney. He's like, I got the illest trademark attorney. Boom. He goes, you can beat this. And the dude goes, you could win. He's just going to cost you 2.5 at least because they're going to tie you up in Ontario, Texas, here and everywhere, every city and state that they own a trademark in, they're going to get you here, here, and here. And I was like, man, fuck this shit. That's when I came up with IF and Co. because it was still I actually fresh, but it was internally flawless and company. And it just made sense. And I was like, yo, Aaron Levant goes, Ben, you're more marketable now. This is more of a more elegant name.
Right.
It was boom.
Yeah.
Then I realized when I started VVS, what's VVS other than Ben Baller? Take out the 2 BB logos, take myself out of it, boom, it's a turnkey business, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah.
So I understand what you're saying.
I just got the pigeon in China, all of Greater China. That shit cost me so much money.
Fuck
Can
me,
you imagine
dude.
trying to like
I can't,
own a bird in China?
There's more pigeons in fucking China than there is fucking
There is,
here.
yeah, yeah.
Jesus Christ. So how much money did you start Staple or Reed or any, like how much money did you start with the business with?
This is a funny story. I always advise kids to not do it my way, but I basically, you know, when you start a business, there's different ways you could go about it. You could ask family and friends for a loan. You could get a partner right off the bat and get like, you know, equity shares. Or you could do it the way I did it, which is max out 8 credit cards and put yourself into $150,000 in debt. But
that ain't 150 ain't shit,
yeah,
really.
the good, but this is in '96.
Yeah, oh, Jesus Christ.
That's probably
That's $1 million.
That's $1 million now.
Yeah.
But the good thing is you own 100% of the company. You don't have to answer to anybody. You have no shareholders to answer to. Sure, if you're late, you got to pay 22% interest, but there's like loan sharks that are like 40% interest, as you said, like your boy in Hong Kong, right? So it's actually not that bad, but it's a tricky game because you could destroy your credit rating, which means you ain't getting a car or a house or anything after that. And I did. I destroyed my credit
twice. I've talked about it on my show. I've destroyed my credit twice.
Yeah.
And I realized I'm not going back that motherfucker.
What are you at now? What's your number? What's the most important number right now?
I'm at 820.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm at 780.
Yeah. And it's like,
I just bought a home, so that's why it goes down when you buy a home.
It does.
Yeah.
But I'm,
Yo, that deserves a pound. No, seriously.
Come on, bro.
My shit was on, you know that 7-year like probationary where like when you fuck your credit up, you can't get a cell phone for 7 years.
If you don't take care of it, even if it's 7 years, you could not maybe like let something kind of go. A collection can reinvent itself, do you know what I mean, through a different thing and then extend it longer. I had to learn all that shit, and now it's not going to happen again. I mean, bro, come on, dog. I done had fucking like 6 different Rolls Royce, Ferrari, Lamborghinis in the last like 5 or 6 years, and that was helping a lot too. And then people were like, all right, listen, it's got a $500,000 loan for this, and this. And people are like, yo, why are you taking loans? You should just buy it yourself, because I'm using that money to fucking leverage against something else. Yeah. When I could just, boom, do this.
I still have PTSD, bro. Like whenever the credit card company says like, oh, we want to give you like a higher limit, I get a little bit scared. So I feel like they're trying to trick me.
You know what's crazy? I didn't know this until recently. I talk to Chase Bank weekly. All right. Remember, unsecured credit line. I'm not talking about Amex. I've spent $250,000 to $300,000 in a month on Amex before. You know, you can have a platinum card, but realistically, if you spend money, they're just gonna let it go through because they know it's got to be paid in 1 month. Yeah. Now Amex Platinum, as of like maybe like 5 or 6 years ago, they had this weird thing where they'll let like 30,000 revolve, kind of.
Yeah,
you know
I know.
Like this weird thing. And I was like, nah, fuck all that shit.
I don't want that shit. No,
I just pay it off.
I want to pay it off.
So Chase gave me a card, and I started like, I had like 3 different Chase cards, and I consolidated them, and it was weird. Today, right now, I have a $125,000 unsecured line on a Visa card. I've spoke to over 300 Chase agents, and they've all said, hey, I know this is against the rules. I shouldn't speak about anything private, even though it's regarding you and me, and we have it, we have a disclosure. And I'm being on a recorded line. I've never even seen a line over 65 or 70 through Chase Bank. How did you? And I was like, I don't know. And that's another thing too, where like, when I fucked up my credit, I remember I got a credit card, a Target card, HSBC Bank. and they gave me a credit card for $5,000. I was like, Jesus Christ, finally. I was making payments, you know, blah, blah, whatever. I ran $3,600 on it. I was going to pay the card off, and I did. Because my other credit agencies were reporting fucked up, they lowered my credit limit to $1,500. And I was like, bro, what am I gonna do with $1,500? I can't even buy a plane ticket with this shit. So it's just like, guys, listen, man, don't fuck your credit up, man, no matter what. I
remember the times where like every phone call to my home was literally a collector.
Fuck, I can't
do you remember that?
You, bro. You don't understand. I got scared because I didn't know what that was before. You know, they're very aggressive, right?
I know.
I wish a credit card company or a collection. I was like, what? By the way, funny story. I had a $118 gas bill that I didn't pay, and it popped up when I was buying a home, and I'm buying a $4 million house, and they're like, yo, you can't get the loan because of this. And I was like, listen, bro. And then there's people who fix credit, this and that, and my buyer's like, listen, my financial advisor's like, Ben, this is an easy fix. You're going to even pay whatever over anything, but they have to produce a letter saying that they're going to delete it from all 3 bureaus, boom, blah, blah, whatever. So I get in an argument with this dude. We start talking. I make up a story, whatever it may be. And the guy's like, listen, don't lie to me. It's kind of, even though Ben Yang is like not known out there as much, people definitely know it much more now, right? Yeah. If you Google my name 10 years ago, Ben Yang, that's going to pull up. You Google it now, I'm going to pull up in like 15 fucking pages straight, right? So I guess the dude was local. He knew who I was. We started arguing. This is a true story, dude. And this is like, you know, I've owned 3 homes. This is a real true story. And I call him and he's like, listen, man, I know that you have this address, blah, blah, whatever. And I was just telling him, I was like, no, bro, I don't know what this is, but I'm going to pay it, you know, blah, blah. I just didn't want to admit the fact that I had a fucking lingering gas bill for 100, whatever. And the guy started arguing with me. He goes, hey, listen, man, don't fuck with me. And he was getting on his collection agency like vibe. And I was like, what? And I was like, hey, homeboy, you know me? Do you really know me? Do you know where my store is for fucking 10 years, homie? Do you know where the fuck the Slauson is? Do you know what my life is like? And I was like, check this out, dog. Fuck all the bullshit. You at 11684 Calabasas, blah, blah. Listen, dude, you're a 40-minute drive from me. I'm going to drive over there, and you talk to me the way you talk to me on the phone right now. Yeah. And I'm telling you right now, on my kid's life, anybody who knows me knows I don't fuck around when it comes to my kids. All right. If I say 10 plus 10 equals 66 on my kids, it equals 66. That's where I'm at right now. Yeah. So I decided, I hung up the phone. I started driving to that place. I was going to pull out my pistol and go to jail. I was so upset at that point over some stupid ass shit. Yeah. The dude calls me back while I'm on the thing and he goes, hey man, listen, you need to fucking calm down. I was like, bro, again, now you just making it even worse. And he's like, listen, man, let's just take care of this. Let's just not. I was going to fuck this dude's life up. No, I'm being serious, Jeff. Listen, bill. I was going to break this. The whole office was going to get fucked up. Yeah. I was going to be on the news, trending 24 fucking. I was going to go crazy over this stupid thing. But it's because all that was built up from me fucking my credit up in college, after college, and then fucking it up as an adult and realizing how much pain I was still carrying from being embarrassed of them calling like, hey, listen, you better pay this bill. Yeah. You know, da-da-da-da-da-da. And then now I realize these guys, like, you could have an $8,000 bill and they'll be like, listen, we'll settle for $1,000 because the fucking collection agency bought it for like $600. They just want to make any kind of, they're just buying it pennies on the dollar.
Kids today, man, you're way too involved in the follow count, what your interaction is, how many likes you get. Like, nobody knows their fucking credit score. That's the fucking number. You see me and Ben here, we know our credit score on the top of our head.
Yeah. I'm heavy
on it. It's no joke.
I'm telling you right now.
And the thing about the credit people is, like you said, when you owe them, they are enemy number one. They will come down on you like SWAT. But when you're good, oh man, then it's like, yo, you need another 100,000? We're best friends. Like,
you know, I took a credit line out just to have it, and people were like, oh, it's dangerous. I was like, nah, because I didn't have a drug addiction, you know what I mean, when it comes to like the credit. It's just I was stupid and I was uninformed and I just didn't have the information. And now I obviously know what I can use it for and certain things and what I can, you know.
You know the balance rollover? Like where one card says, oh, we'll take the balance of your card.
I never did that. I
did that all the time. I got so hoodwinked.
No, I knew immediately that was it.
Because then I would put it all on the other card and then I'd re-max out the first card.
Yeah, no.
That's how I started Staple anyway.
I knew that. You're fucking crazy. Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah.
So do you think a sneaker store today, I know I had this conversation with Eddie Cruz when he started Undefeated. And he told me, he's like, hey, bro, you can't just survive on Nike alone. We have to try to change it. And that's when he was like the first shop that was cool, that had like Asics, whatever, Adidas, Puma. He was really trying to push. That's why he's doing collabs with other people. And it was like, it wasn't until him a little bit, but Ronnie, like Ronnie made it like,
sure,
all right,
yeah.
let's fucking change this. We can't like, boom. Could a sneaker store today survive without having a Nike account?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh,
Let me tell you, there's 3 types of stores in my mind because I'm still involved in retail heavy. I don't. After I shut down Reed Space, I was involved with Extra Butter for a couple of years, which is a tier 0 Nike retailer, Adidas consortium, and now HYPEBEAST they have an online store called HBX.
Yeah, of course I know about it. Yeah.
Yeah, they're opening a brick and mortar store in New York.
Holy
and I'm
shit.
involved in that now. So there's 3 types of sneaker stores in the world. One is the mom and pop sneaker shop that doesn't give a fuck. They just carry whatever. Right. New Balance, Uggs, like Mephistos, whatever the fuck, right? Florsheim. Yeah, Doc Martens. Yeah, there's that. The second type is when they start to learn, they try to get elevated distribution. So they try to get Quick Strike, Elite 11. Then they go tier 0. Then they try to get, Statement, Adidas, Consortium. And then, you play that game. A lot of those stores live and die by the tier 0. So when a Virgil drops or a Sakai drops, they'll make rent for like the next 6 months. But they're like on the needle. They're like, yo, Nike, when is the next tier 0 drop?
Shit.
Yeezys, we can't just get 100 pairs. We got to get 400 pairs, So their whole lifeline depends on that. Then there's a third type of retailer, which is really pushing the envelope. To me, the number 1 retailer in the world is Dover Street Market. Like, that is just the experimental. Dover Street Market actually got offered Yeezys to launch, and they're like, no, we don't want them.
Wow, really?
That's like turning down $1 million.
Yeah, that's
legit.
crazy.
But they're like, that's not for us. So when you're at that level of retail where you're making the statement, you're not allowing other people to make statements on you. You are making the statement.
Holy shit, that's amazing.
Yeah. So shout out to Ray Calcubo, Comme des Garçons.
I'm so fucking just like, wow, dude. Because I just bought a pair of Vans, and I was in Tokyo 2 weeks ago, and I bought a pair of Vans in Dover Street. And I always forget. How about this? I've been to Dover Street in Tokyo and Ginza at least 8 times, right?
Yeah.
Maybe even more. How often have you been to that Ginza store, to DSM?
A dozen times at least.
Okay, a dozen times, right. Tell me, please, I'm not the only one. Tell me you forget that they actually have a fucking Supreme account.
Yeah, they have a Supreme store.
Don't you forget that? Like, have you ever forgot about it? Be like,
no, I don't forget. I study. You gotta look up. You gotta look up Adrian Jaffe. If you ever get Adrian Jaffe on the show, he is the true G. I'm talking Comme des Garçons, Dover Street Market, Play, the fucking heart.
Right.
He owns Play, Gosha,
right.
Junior Watanabe.
Yeah.
Sakai came out of Comme des Garçons. White Mountaineering came out of Comme des Garçons. Like, this dude is the mastermind.
When I talked to KP and I talked to a lot of people, like, KP is actually so ahead of shit. I remember 3 or 4 years ago, he's telling me about Capital Denim. And I'm like, this old patch denim weirdo fucking, this looks like some Native American crazy shit. Like, you tripping?
It's like some old Visbit.
Next thing I know is
it's the hot shit.
ASAP Rocky. He's always ahead of shit. He's like, yo, bro, I need to go get, these are Capital. He's like, what you know about this? And a lot of times I really will shock ASAP when we talk, and he'll be like, bro, man, I don't know what to say with you, man. You're so fucking weird. You're so, like, you just know a lot of shit about hood shit, this, and this. And it I think he'll, like, sometimes ASAP will say weird shit like, yo, man, you smell different. And I'm like, the fuck does that mean? And he goes, your laundry smell clean. And I'm like, wow. I start getting self-conscious. I'm like, damn, man, I hope I didn't fucking eat onions something. I'm like, we're in a car driving for like an hour.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, he's like, who does your laundry? I'm like, well, I have a live-in nanny. You know, I have help. And he goes, yeah. And I was like, but it wouldn't matter. I do it. He's like, no, I can just tell. He's like, you well taken care of. I can tell because I deal with people every day more than you do probably, Ben. And he's like, I can tell that you have people doing your shit. You could just tell. No, he really was like, he observed
so observant.
That.
Yeah,
he was observant. Like, yo, man, you can tell that your clothes are done. You know, he's like, I can tell that you ain't got, not necessarily that I have a struggle, but, you know, I understood what he was getting at. And I was like, shit, man, that's crazy.
I'll never forgive Rocky because he bumped me out of first class.
Wow.
I had a business class flight to LA. I got upgraded to first. I'm so stoked, right? I'm like, oh, this is dope. I got upgraded to first class. The doors close on the airplane, and this never happens. The jetway pulls back. I'm like, okay, I'm good, right? All of a sudden, jetway comes back. Doors about to be reopening, and the flight attendant's like, I'm really sorry, Mr. Ng. Like, we have to put you back in the business class. There was a mistake. I was like, how is there a mistake? The door is closed. Isn't there like an FCC, FAA rule where like once a door closes, done? Coming on the plane. ASAP Rocky taking my fucking seat.
Does he know this story or no?
He probably doesn't know.
That's fucking funny. I'm gonna tell him or whatever. He's like, he don't have the patience to listen to this shit. Are there any haters in your business space like you could think of? Like I know I always think about people have haters and stuff, right? You're such a such a just a I can't imagine, like, why would you hate Jeff? Like, but are there other haters like in you know, like not Junior whatever, but I'm saying like that like whole space like
there's haters for sure. I mean, you did the best thing ever, whereas on Hypebeast you replied to the comments.
Oh yeah,
that was the rebuttal. That's what it was called, the rebuttal.
I didn't think it would be a big deal, and like
that was dope.
Yeah, I did it.
Yeah.
So there are
Yeah, there are.
Because you're always so PC, dude. You really.
I try to be, and I try to lay low. And it's funny when you even ask me like when I made my first million, I was uncomfortable answering that question.
Yeah, I know you were, you fucker.
I mean, look at me. I'm like a dirtbag. Like, no, I don't want to exhibit that I've...
No, you're an amazing dude. Even like the fact that, you know, I hit up fucking... Dude, my friend is probably the biggest model in the world. And she's the face of Omega. Like, for me to hit her up, and she's like, oh, man, don't even worry about it, right?
You're going to tell this story? Okay.
Well, what I'm saying is, you know, it's like, it's fucking Kai Gerber, you know what I'm saying?
Kai Gerber,
dude, fucking mom is Cindy Crawford, you know? And not only that, she did like a family campaign where like her brother, her mom are in the same picture, boom. And then my boy, Apollo Ono, skater, Olympic skater.
He's Omega too, right?
He had Omega too. And so like, I hit him up and they're like, yeah, no big deal. And then when they asked, they're like, hey man, this ain't some like...
Okay, so let's back up this story a little bit, right? I wanted an Omega Speedmaster watch, right? That it was a special Snoopy astronaut edition, which is like...
The astronaut one was, that's what she said. It was just...
impossible.
She couldn't get it, bro.
So of course I can't get it. I'm trying to get it. So I hit up Ben and I'm like, yo, can you hook me up with this watch? And you're like, yo, I know the spokespeople, the top 2 spokespeople for Omega. I could do this. And I think it just says a lot that the fact that I'm asking for a watch that even like those people can't get means I'm a weirdo.
Yeah, bro, because... Well, it had to be rare. And then what happened was, how long ago did it come out?
Probably like 5 years ago.
Oh, okay. So what happened was the initial allotment that went out for sale for whatever, the rare amount of the limited edition that went out, that been gone.
Yeah.
Then the reserve, it's been years. So it's like, then the reserve,
they tapped out too.
They saved out for like maybe any other weirdo VIP that was like you.
Yeah.
So there was like maybe one archive, and I think they couldn't let it go and whatever. And then they were like, how serious is it? And I said, it's not that serious. Because I don't want to like, dude, I can't imagine. I would fucking owe her like $1 million. And to them, she's so young. She just turned 18, bro. Like, I'm going to owe her like fucking 15 grills and all kinds of shit. I'm like, nah, dude, it ain't that deep, bro.
I love this shit. The behind the scenes stories on how people get fucking watches.
No, I'm saying, what do you think the climate of the sneaker game is right now? Like, you think it's at a good place? You think like...
Yeah, I think it's dope. I mean, it's the best time for a sneakerhead to be alive right now. Like, you know, something for everybody.
I tell people I became a millionaire off selling my sneaker collection, and that's true. I never thought it would be where it is now.
Yeah.
Did you ever think it'd be where this is right now with like
for the last 5 years, I keep saying the sneaker market's gonna blow. Like the bubble's gonna pop.
Jesus.
But now I'm just like, you know what? It's never gonna pop. There's just so many people on planet Earth. And you know what? Shout out to Skechers, because Skechers is like the 3rd biggest sneaker brand in the world, right? And you got to think that if Skechers is number 3, everyone who owns a Skechers right now and only buys Skechers, they don't read Hypebeast. They don't know about Virgil Abloh and they don't know about Sakai. Those are all potential customers of Adi and Nike.
That's crazy.
So if you think one day in the future, if you think everyone who owns a Skechers right now could be up on StockX.
They have like the fucking light up shoes.
Yeah, exactly. But that's a lot of customers. And you travel a lot. You go to airports, you go to, you know, lounges and shit. Isn't everyone in business class and first class rocking Yeezys, Off-White, Rimowa luggage?
Yeah.
I
just feel like, so bad to have Rimowa and like, fuck, man.
It's not even like...
I won't wear Yeezys anymore. No offense to Matt George and to Kanye and all them and then my boys and everything, but it's really hard for me to wear a pair of Yeezys.
I agree.
When Rocky just got out of jail, he was wearing Yeezys that don't even come out for like another year or so, like early prototypes. And I understood, of all people, he's like the guy that's going to have it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't mind him being that dude. And sometimes, fuck, I don't give a fuck. Rocky gave me some throwaways. You know what I mean? Like some shit like, oh, you want this shirt? I'm like, motherfucker, I'm taking it all. Like, you know, like I have no shame in anything. But
it's crazy now.
It's different if it's a year in advance or even 3-4 months in advance. I just can't be, I don't know. I just, and don't get me wrong, man, what he's done is amazing and the shoes are comfortable. But it's like, fuck, every single fucking fob, every like random middle grade celebrity in Korea.
Only you could say every fucking fob.
Yeah, and all the Filipino people, they're all rocking Yeezys and
all the Chinese billionaires.
Asia. Yeah, I can't do it, dog.
Yeah.
But like with apps and like GOAT, StockX and stuff, we're being worth billions of dollars. Like when you heard Flight Club got bought for $60 million, did you not think like, bro, I remember when I used to fucking give, like I used to buy fried rice for fucking Domaney, you know what I mean? And like
Vintage kit, yeah.
Like, what do you think about that?
It's amazing. It's just amazing where we're at. LVMH and, Farfetch, they're investing in. Foot Locker bought into GOAT now.
Yeah, I just saw that. That is just fucking crazy.
Let me tell you the crazy GOAT story.
Oh, shit.
So I was like, I know some people at GOAT, right? And I was like, yo, what is this Foot Locker deal? Like, you're losing your independence. Like, Foot Locker's like, quote unquote, the man in this industry, and you're letting them buy into GOAT. And they're like, I'm not going to say who, but they're like, you know what? We're actually letting them in so that we can learn their systems because we're actually going to buy Foot Locker back in the future. That's our vision.
Holy
Can
shit.
you believe that? Like, that's how gangster they are.
I hope this doesn't get anybody in trouble on this thing. Are you a sports fan at all?
No, not really. I don't have time for it.
You're a fucking asshole. I hate people like you. You know what's funny is Tyler, the creator, I would say shit, and he has a private page on Twitter, and it's the most amazing private page ever. And like, I'd be like, yo, listen, I can't fuck with nobody who don't like sports. And then he immediately be like, I don't know shit about sports.
I'll tell you where my sports dropped off. I was a big Bad Boy Piston fan. Okay, Barry Sanders, Cecil Field, like that whole Detroit era.
Enormous fucking Barry Sanders fan. I was.
Yeah, but after that, I just can't keep up anymore.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
I mean, I still have to. I feel like as a man, oh shit, look at Wale's on TV. That's fucking amazing. That's my boy. Wale, oh shit. Any other hobbies you have?
Work, man. I just work.
I knew it. You fucking jerk. You're fucking. Favorite place to eat in New York City?
I'm not giving it up on the air. They always get ruined when I do that.
Yeah, you're a good dude.
You guys can just keep going to Nobu.
Bro, no offense, man. I you know what? It's crazy. I haven't met Mr. Matsuhisa, right? Bro, the food is just so, dude. It's not McDonald's. But it's gotten to like, it's P.F. Chang's of sushi now, dog. And people think it's such a big deal. I'm like, yo, bro. And even Jiro, like, I went to Jiro, like, no, bro, there's real crazy spots. Like, did you ever go to Nozawa before it became Sugarfish?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Could you imagine people, like, we had that.
I know.
And it just like, the real sushi Nazi, the real actual, wouldn't let you sit for the, omakase. Like, I can't believe we fucked that up. And he just got tired, I'm sure. Like, he was one of the biggest fishermen there is, and he just got tired. He says, fuck this, I'm gonna make this fucking...
Nobu's good. I can't, it's
all right, dude.
It's just the thing, it's good. Like, okay, so here's the story.
It's a 7-8 strong.
Recently, I dropped the Nike Panda Pigeons on Network app, and it totally destroyed the app, right? Like,
bro, I was there.
Okay,
I helped you do the launch.
Yes, for people who don't know, Aaron felt so bad about it that he sent me a ridiculous Nobu gift card after that, right? So because he felt really bad.
Right.
So I take me and my whole team out to Nobu. I hadn't been there like in 10 years. Like, foodies, no offense, don't really go to Nobu.
Yeah.
Right. But there's another whole contingency of people that really love bragging about going to Nobu.
Yeah.
So I get like that. It's actually good food. You just don't have to brag about going to Nobu. I don't get it.
I don't know. It's weird. Again, but the thing is, at the same time, I'll go eat at a fucking, I'll go eat at McDonald's.
Oh yeah,
and that's a weird thing about that.
IHOP's the shit. Like I love, like getting grimy with it.
It's just weird. I mean, there's a little Cuban spot down here. I get empanadas at, and I'll get like some fucking, some iron beer and some like, but there's a Dominican spot in fucking in Dykeman. There's. I mean, I'm just saying like, I'm cool. And the funny thing is, not to put Aaron on blast, I just dropped this gold money counter, right?
Yes, you did.
And it sold out in 8 seconds.
I'm really sad I didn't get one.
And I'm so sorry, dude. So listen,
I understand I'm not the demo.
Listen, I will say this.
I never held a money stack in my ear.
I won't say it again. This is exclusive. I will only say this to the people that are listening to this episode. I am going to drop them again now.
Okay.
Because it went too fast. And I fucked up the app as well. But the funny thing is, Aaron sent me a fucking Nobu gift card. So fucking funny. It took me forever to use it. And then finally I had some relatives from Germany come in.
We are blowing up Aaron's spot right now.
That's my dog. I love that
Me too.
dude.
I love that guy so much.
What's your favorite place to vacation in?
Pure vacation, I got to say, is actually Barcelona. You mentioned it earlier. Me and my wife love Barcelona, but Tokyo is really our second home. It's beautiful there. It's just hard to unplug out of Tokyo because there's so much going on there.
Yeah.
So it always becomes a little bit of work too.
If Tokyo, I can get in a weird mood. I don't know what it is because I was going to Tokyo before Lost in Translation. That movie, I know it's so fucking typical and so cool, but it's really did change my fucking life, my vision. There's no way I can't go to the Park Hyatt. It's impossible. Do you know what I mean? And why I'm even loyal to the Hyatt brand and stuff. And going there, going through Harajuku, it's even like, dude, I'm doing a collaboration with Murakami. Can you imagine how far I felt like when me and him were in together in Nakano? I've been to Tokyo 30 times. I've never been in a Nakano before.
Yeah.
It was like a weird like swap meet flea market experience. I was like, bro, you opened your fucking store here?
Right.
Like, you know, going to Nakano.
It's incredible, his
it's
store.
Insane.
Yeah.
Going through there. Gifts me ridiculous $1,000, $2,000 gifts here and there. So generous. I'm telling him thank you. He's like, stop saying thank you, Ben. You know, thank you for coming to Tokyo for the photo shoot. It makes it more authentic, what we're doing. There's some beef with Koreans and Japanese too. And I'm like,
yeah,
all you motherfuckers need to stop with this shit, bro. Like, you know, this is what's going to stop people from being bigger.
Great, yeah.
And we're shooting in Harajuku. And I'm thinking he's going to shut the mall down. He's big enough, right? Boom. And he's like, motherfucker, it's Sunday. We ain't shutting shit down. You know, he's just doing a guerrilla. And I was like, wow, dog, you're a gangster. Go see Futura. Walking through Shibuya, it's just something that fucks me up internally when I'm walking through Shibuya crossing everything, and people are like, "Yo, feeling. This just like this ain't." And it's like some of my boys say, "Hey, listen, man, if you lived here for 6 months, you'd feel different." And I'm like, you know what, cool. But until then, which may never happen,
right?
I have the nostalgic feeling every time I walk through Ginza, certain things. The fact that the typhoons ran through there, motherfuckers are waiting in line for 3 hours for toilet paper, not complaining about shit.
Yep.
People are clean in Japan. You ain't got to worry about do I could wear $1 million watch? No one's even thinking about robbing me in Japan. It's not like that over there. You know.
I want to move there with my girl. She's half Japanese, so you know I plan on retiring.
Oh, I didn't know. I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what? Another thing too is you mentioned this on actually we talked about this off the podcast, but like, why didn't you guys want kids? It was just something. Is that too personal? I don't know. Is it?
No, it's not too personal. I just don't want to add human life forms to this world. This world is such shit that like,
damn,
you know, more. And I recently, I got to say, I saw that video that you posted of your kid saying like, I want daddy. And that shit, I don't know how that made you feel, because that even tugged at my fucking heartstrings.
Do you know something funny? That happened like the day I left for New York.
I don't know how you got on a plane when you see that video. Like,
here's the crazy part. I've watched that video, like realistically watched it maybe 100 times. I'm not saying that in exaggeration. I'm talking about an actual literal 100 times.
I watched it like 12 times.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I'm like, fuck, man.
Yeah.
Because you know what? Me and my first son, we went through it because he had some health issues. My second son, he was the baby of the family. You know, we have a special relationship. And then the daughter finally came after we tried. If we had we might not have had a third kid if we had, you know, the daughter the second time. And so like now it's like my oldest son is 7.5 and then my baby is just 2, but she's like it's a girl. So it hit me soft and I feel crazy about it now, touching my heart. And that, dude, tomorrow I get on my 86th flight of this year. 86, motherfucker, right? Back. So it's just like, yo, I'm in LA. So I was gonna stay till Friday, right? Because I have some shit going on. I can't. Because as soon as I land, I have a kids party to go to on Saturday. I have one day to relax on Friday. Well, not really, but Sunday morning I'm out again. I'm out to Seattle. So it's like,
yeah, man. So, but I can't bring myself to bring someone into this crazy fucked up world.
Yeah. Nah, I don't know, man. Next question. Were you ever on Nike Talk? Did you ever have a username?
Nope.
But you knew about it, I guess.
I knew about it, yeah. I felt like, because I was working with Nike and putting shoes out, I felt like if I was on Nike Talk, it might get me in trouble with actual Nike Inc.
When I was working with Nike, it was the same thing. And it was weird.
Yeah,
and that's what kind of fucked up everything. And I knew going in. I was like, listen, man, it's like, I know it sounds crazy. Yesterday, my boy was like, oh, man, that chick is dope. And I was like, she's a cop, bro. And he's an ex-convict, you know what I mean? And he's like, man, fuck that. I'll smash her down. I'm like, bro, just the fact that you playing with fire, do you know what I mean? She knows. Let's just say you guys fall in love. She can't, you know, she'd be like, oh, this dude's doing, no, I mean, not that he does it now, but you know what I mean? Like, you just be like, what if you want to go back to doing criminal activity or something? It's like, bro, it's like a weird thing. Not saying that it was, but it felt like that taboo to like be involved in Nike Talk. And then they were like, hey, boom. Then there was certain language and how it just got too weird for me, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
I remember one time I had a blog back in the day, and I wrote about how I didn't like Nike ID, and I was like working with Nike at the time. I get a call from Fraser Cook, and he's like, can you take that post down? I'm like, I didn't even talk shit. I just said like, I personally don't like it. He's like, no, risk assessment is like not into that.
Bro, I fucking put, when we had the Blue House, I said, we're having a party here, you know, blah, whatever. They sent me this crazy ass thing. We don't have parties at Nike. We have events. And then I remember the next week I walked into the office in Marina Del Rey and I was wearing a fucking polo. And they're like, yeah, Ben, you know, we make polos. So that's technically a competition. And I was like, bro, man, enough is enough. When I finally blew up and said, fuck Nike on my site, I remember how bad it was. They were telling counts. They were telling my boy who owned a store in Fred Siegel, hey man, Ben's not allowing your store. If he owns part of your store, we're going to pull your Nike account. They were doing all that kind of shit.
Oh, you were enemy.
Listen,
you were enemy.
The crazy thing is they told Eddie, They told Eddie Cruz, like, hey, listen, you know, this is a problem, boom. And even Eddie was like, all right, damn, you know, and he was big. He's like, listen, man, I don't want to cause any trouble, boom. And I was like, you know, I get it. Today, now, I'm not saying whatever. I'm not saying I'm fucking, you know, Mike Tyson or whatever it may be, or I'm fucking Vladimir Putin, but they can't do shit to tell me anything, whatever. I don't give a fuck if they bought 15 of my stores or anything. I'm always going to find a way to make money, period. And that's my life.
Yeah.
So I will, if I want to wear Nikes and I don't like them, fuck them, whatever. If it's hypocritical, I'll go to Riff. I'll go to fucking somewhere. Any reseller is going to sell me a shoe I want if I wanted it.
Exactly.
So it's not like they can do anything. I have nothing against them. I'm just saying, like, they got to
don't hold you anymore.
They got to chill, dog. They got to chill. When did you first hear me? I'm just curious.
Actually, from the DJ era.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I was cool with AM. He used to go to Reed Space all the time too.
Yeah.
And I remember he tried to get a pair of pigeons. I think he had a pair of pigeons actually.
He did. He got them from Tom.
Yeah. So I knew about you from back then.
That's funny. I posted a picture of his pigeons before.
Oh, okay.
So that's crazy.
Yeah.
Tell me something that nobody knows about you. You've already said a lot of crazy shit though. So.
It's crazy. I mean, to be honest, a lot of people don't know a lot about me. I think I try to keep it pretty down low and secret, you know?
Mr. fucking Genghis Khan, fucking mysterious man, right?
Okay, here's one. I carry in my left pocket 365 days a year. Every day, doesn't matter. Chapstick.
Jesus Christ, you fucking weirdo.
My lips got to be moist, 365.
Listen, man, this has been fucking really beyond more. Listen, and don't take this the wrong way. I love doing this podcast. At the same time, right before any guest, whether it be huge, small, medium, whatever, you're a heavy hitter in the streetwear game, of course, and more in the sneaker world. I just, one, it being fucking, you know, 7:44 a.m. right now in LA, but starting at 6, you know, it's just like my brain is just really a little bit out of it, even though I was in Tokyo, DC, I mean, bro, I've been on so many different flights in the last just 10 days.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to expect. The fact that Jordyn and Miles, my producers, had some questions and I didn't go through whatever, so I had to come up with all my shit. We still got an hour and 10 plus of content, which is fucking amazing.
It's dope.
I'm so excited about this, right? And I'm just so honored that you went on this show. I'm glad that you even were interested, because I didn't even ask. It was like, yo, bro, let's just jump in. And I said, listen, this has to happen.
Yeah.
And like, because Ronnie had to go to Germany last minute. It had nothing to do with you at all. We would have still did it because I have meetings to do today.
We were talking last week, yeah.
How I end every episode with my podcast with the guest is I ask them, is there anything you'd like to ask me? That's the last question always.
I have something that I want to tell you, that out of all the fucking bullshit that you say and the advice that you give and all the shit that you talk about, I want to tell you the one thing that is the biggest jewel that every man, particularly man in this world, needs to know. You once said, fellas, if you have $10,000 and if your wife has $5,000, your total household income is not $15,000. It is $10,000.
Yeah.
That shit is jewels.
Yeah.
Dudes need to recognize. And I have friends that are married and they don't understand. They're like, I don't get it. Like, she brought in 10K. I don't understand why she asked me for the money. I'm like, because that's not the household money. Listen to Ben. That was jewels. I don't know. Something must have happened in your household for you to say that, because you said it on Instagram stories, I think.
Yeah.
And when I saw that, I took a screenshot. I was like,
it fucked me up because even recently, right? My wife is like, hey, listen, did you really buy 2 Ferraris in 1 week? And I'm like, babe, one was like one car got traded in and the other one I had to get like, and she's like, no, I'm not trying. And it was crazy. She's like, hey, listen, how come I can't go and do it? I was like, no one said you couldn't. But I'm asking you, like, but the thing is, I know how to flip cars and make 50 to 100 grand, whatever, blah, blah. And I was explaining to her, but she, every so often, she's not really, my wife is really unproblematic. You know, if anything, she wants more of my time than anything, which is, you know, understandable. But, you know, you start to realize when you do taxes and you do, you know, you and your wife are combined, whatever, and you're like, all right, dog, it's not fucking, it's not 5,000, 15,000. It's fucking 10. It's
yeah,
you know,
you really can't touch what she has. That's her shit.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And I can't put a job. It don't matter. She hates the fact that I tell people that we have an nanny. Listen, bro, when you have 2 kids, it's tough. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
When you have 3, you remember you're outnumbered.
Yeah.
And it's a different level of what's going on. Plus, they're all young. So, you know, it ain't like the nanny sits there and fucking, you know, raises our kids. And that's not it at all. Not even 5% true.
Right.
All right. They prepare all the lunches in the morning for school, you know, stuff like that. They tidy up certain things here and there. They do things like, you know, the laundry, whatever. But other than that, my wife really does put insane amount. You know, I have in-laws. It's amazing. There's always someone at my house, which I never liked that before. Now it's a trip. And people think like sometimes like, oh man, you're going to a hotel to fucking get away. Not really, man. I have to make sure that it makes sense for me to go spend, you know, $5,000 on a air travel and hotel or whatever. I got to be somewhere where it's going to make sense. It's going to translate into dollars somehow later, or translate into some kind of knowledge to me that's going to better me in future, you know, in the future, and some forward progress. But
in this age of like, you know, women's rights, feminism, and like, you know, the Me Too thing, that's like that jewel that you dropped was actually, some would argue that it's like sort of medieval and ass backwards, but it's not.
Dude, it's not.
It's not.
It's not.
It's some forever male female shit.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's all love. And you know what? You have a happy home.
You will have a happy home if you listen to Ben's advice there.
Yo, man, Jeff Staple, thank you so motherfucking much.
Yeah, man, this was
really
dope.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you, bro. In New York City, yo, listen, man. Miles, man, Jordyn, can you throw on some Lakey Lake and let's get out of here for a second?